Welcome back to the league that means nothing on Go Again Gaming.
Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and welcome back to another commentary with myself, Kyle.
Hey, Callum.
And we are from the Cup of TCG channel here for The League That Means Nothing Season 4. And we've got another banger coming up for you. We've got Dylan on Katsu versus David on Oscilio. Passing it over to you, Callum. Give us a little bit of a rundown on the background of Dylan.
Yeah, it's cool. A couple of not super represented heroes at the moment, so
Absolutely.
good to see a couple of different heroes making the cut. We've got Dylan Samuels, who's Katsu main since day one. He says been playing since around Monarch, so that's a fair while ago now, and bubbled in a few PQs. He says top 8 at a couple, but I'm sure that's only down to Katsu himself and not Dylan as a player.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's have a quick look into David, who's a wizard main, only recently getting into the game, touching in with Rosetta, but is a huge fan of Pirates, so feels like they've got into Fab at the very right time. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they can do.
Hey everybody, it's TCG Ted, and I'm super thrilled to be sponsoring the League That Means Nothing this season on Going and Gaming. Check me out on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy the games.
Like, as we kick this one off, pretty standard equipment setup between Dylan and David. And, well, Dylan's going to be going second with David first, and it's a cheeky little Gone in the Flash to begin us.
Yeah, so Gone in the Flash, one of the cards Oscilio really wants to see as early as possible, and it's come at a good time for David. So, yeah, I bet he's probably pretty happy about that.
All depends on whether or not he can bounce it back to the hand, though, right? It's important that he does return it this time, and well, he is going to be able to with a null shot being played purely for its shock value at this point, though, right?
Yeah, so we've got AB2 over on Dylan's side. We've got Norin Gloves and Arcane Lantern. So going to be a little bit more difficult to get those Mask of Momentum triggers on offer for Chainlink 3, but still, I think maybe opting to have a little bit more protection from arcane damage.
Absolutely. Going to be going down to 38 on turn 0 due to the 3 arcane damage that shock is doing. Volzar coming in clutch. Of course, a lot having to be committed there. Mind Warp to the bottom of the deck. Quite a strong card against Katsu, right? A deck that really likes keeping those 4-card hands, and, well, when they are blocking and going down to the 3 cards, they basically need all 3. So if you do see a Mind Warp chucked at you, you are going to have to somewhat respect it, or, well, hope and pray that the top of the deck is okay.
Yeah, I guess that's why the a few extra points of arcane barriers coming in here, right? We've got hopefully making it a little bit more difficult for David to get the surge effect on that Mind Warp, but one down to the bottom of the deck. So another thing we haven't spoken about yet is Katsu's trigger. So the Katsu hero ability allowing you to tutor any combo card that you like by discarding a 0-cost card whenever your first attack action card hits each turn. And Oscilio not the deck that's known for blocking particularly well.
No, but does have access to one of my favourite pieces of equipment, that being the Lightning Greaves. So chucking that in early doors to be able to cover that 4 breakpoint with an Etchings of Arcana to boot as well. We do see a Descendant Gust Wave coming in off the back of that, coming in for 4, considering a Surging Strike was played before it. Not only is it costing 1 less, but gains 2 additional damage as well. So a nice little bit of an extender. Dylan kind of positioning himself for an Arsenal setup here and forcing David into, well, potentially some weird positions when it comes down to HP and a lot of equipment being blocked with here. You'd think that we're going to be going into a combo turn, but David's down to 2 cards in hand. You don't really have an insane combo potential, even if you do have a Gone in the Flash in your arsenal with only 2 cards.
It looks like we're hopefully we sort the life totals out after that little mistake by accident. But maybe David just thinking, look, I've drawn my 3 blocks. I might not draw too many of them throughout the course of the game,
absolutely.
So get some value out of them while I can. But yeah, it's a shame to lose the armor here, and probably feeling a little bit cheated when the what's the Descendant Gust Wave came in after.
Yep.
After the Surging Strike, trying to block the Katsu trigger and stunt the combo line.
No brakes on this train. It's just going to keep going. Got the Flash coming in for 4 again. Just see if you can chip down Dylan ever so slightly. Get him to what would be 33. I suppose it should be 34, but you know that's a problem for the future. Down to 33. Are we going to be bouncing it? That's the question.
Almost looked like we were looking to
Grabbing the storm.
crap lightning greaves then, but surely not.
No.
So we've got Sigil of Lightning here in
Fine.
the damage step, which is going to bounce Gone Flash back to the hand. Good setup for the following turn. Tunic coming up to 3 on the following turn as well. We could see a very early combo turn from Oscilio here, should he live to tell the tale. We all know Katsu's capable of some pretty scary things, but not usually off the start a spinning wheel kick.
Yeah, I was about to say that spinning wheel kick not usually the starter you want to be seeing, right? It's one of those extenders, seeing a twin twisters or another spinning wheel kick to be able to buff it up. Maybe we have a second one coming in here, but the perfect answer here for David being that sink below, just to be able to cover that 4 breakpoint. Still 2 cards left in hand. Combat Chain's going to get broken here, just so, okay, we can see the Heart and Cost Trap being used, reducing the cost of the next attack by 2, and that attack is always going to be a Surging Gust Wave, the red one coming in for 5. Usually what you would start a turn with.
Yeah, it's interesting we opted to go for the spinning wheel kick first and not the Surging Strike here, but hey, look, Dylan's not giving David any room to breathe, I suppose, so
Nope.
maybe smells the potential for a combo pretty quick. So blocking 5 on the Surging Strike. And they always have it.
They always
regardless
have it.
If you block it or not. They've always got it.
If you block it, they've got it. If you don't block it, they've also got it. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. So still coming in for 2 off the back of the Whirlwind Gust Wave. Another situation in where they need to block it out, but David doesn't look like he's going to be able to. So the go again, the +1, the draw a card, Whirlwind Gust Wave gets all of the value known to man. An Arsenal committed here for Dylan. Still very much in the aggro driver's seat with only, I believe, 2 cards in hand here for David and the card sitting in Arsenal. What I believe, if I cast my mind back, is a God in the Flesh. Again.
So we got the sink and the 2 blocks on the Surging Strike. So we're at 1 card in hand for David here. I wonder what the choice to not Oscilio to try and block out that. Assuming there's an instant in hand, opting not to use the Oscilio hero ability to try and block that when we Gust Wave. Maybe thought
Discharge.
What's Dylan gonna draw into his and it did end up just going to the Arsenal, but yeah, we got Discharge here and gonna opt to play the Gun in a Flash here. It's a lot of damage, but we are now on the mission to find the second Gun in a Flash if we wish to resolve a combo here.
Ever important to locate that. No real shooter effects in Oscilio at all, really, are there, to be able to hunt things back down for the grave? I suppose Remembrance can be played as it is an instant, but again, that's not going to put it straight back to your hand. Memorial Ground, maybe, Callum? Is that cope?
You're cooking now. You can discard it to Oscilio's hero ability.
We're going to be blocking 5 on the Surgeon Strike once again. Really nice setup here from Dylan. And going to be bouncing them both back with the Electromagnetic Somersault. One of my favourites in Aurora, may she rest in peace. She LL'd before this season began. So I didn't get the chance to play her in a single round of the League That Means Nothing, unfortunately.
And where you thought you might be playing Electromagnetic Somersault, I am playing Electromagnetic.
I was about to say,
because I am actually playing Oscilio in this league. So let's see if David can do us Oscilio brothers some justice.
I think there's only a couple of you playing him this season, but bit of a sleeper pick. Very much here for it. Descendant Gust Wave going to be coming in for 5, and it does indeed hit. Bonds of Ancestry, of course, recently unbanned, comes in again.
Passing on the Katsu trigger on the Descendant Gust Wave because we just don't need it. We've got the bonds in hand already. Going to grab a Fluster Fist. That looks like a 1-card 8 to me.
That's just good fab math, I've heard.
That is numbers, baby.
David, of course, on 28, still a little bit of a HP lead, 6 HP up currently, but We know how little these Oscilio hands block. We know that one of the cards in hand is a Flitter in charge, simply blocking for 2. Bonds of Ancestry is going to be hitting, taking him down to 24. Sometimes you've just got to hedge, and sometimes you've just got to hope and pray that you can present just a little bit more damage. Fist hits for 4.
Because Dylan is opting to go for the Mask of Momentum build with this Katsu deck rather than the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx build that we're used to. This Flusterfist is actually presenting a draw trigger.
That's so much value. So much value.
Yeah, really nice. Maybe thinking he had a bit of a clunker at the beginning of that turn there with 2 reds being pitched into that Surging Strike, but hey,
that's the benefit of combo, right?
Something's just coming up Millhouse.
Very true. Flitter in charge. 0 for 4. Play an instant. On the chain link, it gets go again. Single card in hand. Now, we've already seen the Electromagnetic Somersault be committed on the previous turn to be able to get this Flitter in charge back to the hand. So, very unlikely that we're going to be seeing the second one to bounce it back and also give it go again. No sigil in play, so if there is a non-attack action wizard card, some form of arcane damage, it is going to be flat damage and not pumped from the Volzar. So, decision points made here.
So if I'm in David's seat here, I'm starting to look at my life total and think I'm running out of time a little bit here. So,
yeah, absolutely.
We have got that Tunic on 3, got that Flash of Brilliance ready to go whenever we find some nice little sigil to combo it with. But Dylan's saying, look, I'm smelling blood. I've got 5 cards. I'll take the damage, get my Breeze Rider boots value, and say block this, baby.
Yeah, Arsenal on pass here from David, setting up that 5-card hand, and well, hopefully we get to find out what that Arsenal card is very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, a 3rd Surging Strike is coming on in. 3rd and final red one, hitting the combat chain here. Oscilio activation, just to be able to get rid of a Sigil of Aether. Drawing up a card, and praying and hoping that one of those cards you've just drawn is a blocking card. Because we are also running out of life and running out of opportunities if you're David here to, I don't know, kind of stay in this game, because it's been a lot of blocking. You've only taken 16 damage, right? Oscilio starting on 36, but that's basically half your HP at this point. You're in a weird spot if you're David, and sometimes your hand simply says Oscilio no blocks because they're all instant.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier in the game, it's an interesting choice to go for the Mask of Momentum because you've got only one could actually, right? But if you just keep ripping Surging Strikes off the top of the deck, you ask your opponent the grave question of, do you block Surging Strike or do you not?
Yeah. Bit of a thinker here for David. It's understandable. In this situation, Callum, as an Oscilio player yourself, you blocking this?
I mean, it all depends on if you've got a good damage hand yourself, right? If we found the second Gone in a Flash with a couple of instants and maybe a damage spell, then I might be hoping my opponent can't kill me. But
oh my god, another Descendant! These turns have just been so consistent from Katsu.
Offering up another breakpoint here. Katsu trigger still available. Could we see the boy Oscilio or the robot Oscilio dishonored in this game?
Oh god, don't. There's a chance. No blocks being committed on the Descendant Gust Wave, taking 4 down to 16. Katsu trigger on the stack. Oh, going to be discarding a... Yeah, we're going for it this time round. Discarding the Fluttering Fist, most likely red, to find...
Suma Bonds of Ancestry.
Yep. It has been grabbed, and it has been chucked straight onto the combat chain.
It's like back when we were playing Zen, right? You don't necessarily want to waste your opponent's time too much shuffling and cutting, and when you're just going to go straight back into that deck to find...
It's, I'm not going to shuffle this, I'm about to go back in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. Getting the whelming.
So, yeah, I mean, discarding the Flusterfist there to the Katsu trigger means that we are out of Flusterfists for the value
bonds.
for... Yeah, whelming interesting. Are we gonna see a breeze rider boots cracked potentially to get this whelming go again?
Maybe.
We are.
Yeah, Beast Rider Boots being committed here. Rest of the turn.
How much
Combo cards gaining
more
go again.
damage can we see? So this is for 3, I believe.
Yep, this is 3. Surge and Strike not being the previous attack on the combat chain. This is threatening Mom, though, so effectively doing the exact same thing. It does get blocked for 3 with the Mind Warp. No cards in hand. 1 in Arsenal. Ancestral, maybe. Oh, no, Magenshi Release.
With the combo.
Rare.
+1, go again, and if it hits, search your deck for any number of cards named Lord of Wind, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So we got 5 damage on offer here.
Oh my god, it hit!
We're going to go find some Magenshi releases.
3 Lord of Winds, most likely go into the hand. 1 Lord of Wind. Searching for the rest. 2 Lords of Wind. Do we have a 3rd Lord of Wind? It doesn't look like we do. Just 2 of them. Just checking the grave to see if one was blocked with. Pitching a Lord of Wind to play a Lord of Wind to get some Surgings back.
Very nice. Just when you thought the Surging Strikes were all done and dusted, nope, Lord of Wind says, I'll have those back, please.
I don't think I've ever fully read the text of Lord of Wind. That is a paragraph, isn't it? Dear Lord.
You'd be there a while, sir. Going down to 2, David, on Oscilio. We've got 2 cards left to play with. I don't know about you, Carl, but I don't know many Oscilio combos that threaten 19 damage off 2 cards, but...
let me crunch numbers. Yeah, I don't think they exist. This would be debilitating if this is just
all
pass.
David needs is a little more space.
Little more space and a little bit more HP, I think, is what he needs. Discarding another Sigil of Aether. It really depends on what David's drawn right now to see if he even has a turn which is functional. Sigil Brilliance being played straight from the arsenal. Interesting that wasn't played out like at the end of the turn, right? To be able to draw up another card.
Well, you gotta think about the following turn cycles, right? What is your path to victory in this game, right? So you've got Gadachi on offer here. It's not threatening lethal. However, can we live for just a couple more attacks to potentially resolve a big turn off the back of this Flash of Brilliance?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Flash of Brilliance absolutely perfect here. So, eating my words instantly around
with our Sigil of Brilliance.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's instantly making me eat my words because this is why you don't play the Sigil of Brilliance right now. You play it on the following turn. You bounce it back with the Flash of Brilliance. There's a lot of brilliant things going on in a single turn, drawing up an additional card, going up to a 5-card hand, blocking out the first one, and now we are just going to be seeing a Bonds of Ancestry coming in for 4. This is go again.
We could be in a world here where David has a 3-block or activating Oscilio, maybe looking at 5 no blocking cards here, but fingers crossed we see a 3-block, we go to 1, and maybe, just maybe, if that second Gone in a Flash has been found,
can you even consider blocking around Ancestral here?
You need the Tunic to use your Lightning Greaves if that's your win condition here, right? But looks like he's going to respect it.
No reacts.
But we have got a few cards to play with here for Oscilio, so maybe all we need is a bit of disruption, maybe a Mind Warp, something on offer to keep us in this game.
Anything for David right now. Siloing at the start of turn, getting rid of the Somersault, drawing up another card.
Now, we always talk about Oscilio being able to dig through his deck really quickly, right? So, you never know. We may have already found that second Gone in Flash, but it's not looking good.
It's not looking promising, is it? That is 3 separate instant auras been played, pitching a Sink Below to be able to play is this a Glyph Overlay?
Yeah, so Glyph Overlay, really, really cool card here. So it's going to be amped by 3 from the Volzar.
This is up to 6.
Plus another 3 from the 3 sigils on board. So we have got a 9 damage arcane spell here. If it surges, which, spoiler alert, I think it will, we're going to be shuffling the 3 auras back into the deck,
Drawing
getting
2 cards.
all of the triggers on these cards when they go back into the deck, and gaining a life. So, look, it's a powerful play. I'm sure David would have liked to have resolved this glyph off of that tunic that we blocked with last turn.
Yep.
Arsenaling
the sink.
But you got to respect the playing around Ancestral.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're still going to be drawing up 2 cards, so there is a chance that a sink below finds its way into the arsenal with David. Maybe draws up a shelter as well, just to be able to block out some more of these breakpoints throughout the next turn. To wait and see if he's on it.
Sorry. The Oscilio decks as of late they're on a few defense reactions in the sideboard. Not quite as many as when Aurora was around, but so what does the top of the deck hold for David Gomez here? Clawing back that life deficit that he was at last turn, but Katsu still holding 4 cards with that card in arsenal.
Currently, at least if David's committing to the bit, suspects that card in the arsenal is an Ancestral, just for that additional 1 ping. But bottom are going to be curated.
Yep, from the sigil that went back into the deck.
Draws 2 cards.
That would be really nice off the top here. Would be a nice little Sigil of Solace.
Sigil of Solace would be good.
Get some use out of without needing an action point. That would be really nice. Oscilio ability already used here, so not able to dig for something better.
Priority passed. Card goes into arsenal. Sink goes to the bottom of the deck. David is now going to draw up to his full 4-card hand. Ancestral Harmony being played, and does it hit a combo? It actually misses. One of the Surgeon Strikes that put back into the deck.
Yeah, one of the few ninja attack action cards in the deck that does not have combo on it, unfortunately.
Well, underwhelming Gust Wave coming in for 4.
This is mighty underwhelming when it doesn't have go again off of its combo.
Interesting that we didn't see the dagger trying to threaten anything here. Just the lack of information is brutal. This does come in for 5 though.
So we started off really hot in this game, right? For Dylan, we had Surging Strikes galore. However, last couple of turns really finding the clunkier side of the Katsu deck. So a small window of opportunity for David. However, blocking with a gun in the flash.
Ancestral being used. Drawing up 1 more, goes up to 6.
That was from hand, noticing that. So we didn't have one in the arsenal by the looks of it. Taking David back down to 2 here. David holding on to 3 cards with the 1 in arsenal, I believe. Unfortunately, having to block this gun in a flash here. See if he has another one.
Does not look like it. Well, not so far.
However, any gun in a flash power turn is going to be much, much more difficult now that we are without our tunic.
Sub 1 card is pretty brutal. We saw 2 very, very powerful combo cards used in that previous turn, right? We saw the blast, and well, here comes the second blast, and the gun in the flash being blocked with. 2 cards essentially needed for you to be able to... I like that go again token.
Yeah, that was good.
Essentially needed to be able to...
Straight out of Banjo-Kazooie or something.
Yeah, very true, very true. This is just a flat blast for 3. There's no aura on board to be able to bounce back to hand. Haven't seen a CLV either for this game, notably from David, to be able to dig him deeper into this deck.
Maybe that's what we were hoping was... maybe that's what David has in arsenal and is hoping to not draw blocks here, but maybe a heads-up play from Dylan.
Another Sigil of Brilliance.
Sigil of Brilliance as we shuffle back in, finding its way back to the top of the deck.
Wow, and we are just going to be passing as well after playing that Sigil of Brilliance, so David kind of relying on the fact that Dylan may brick once again. We've seen it a couple of times in this game. The last couple of turns certainly not been strong, but this time starting again with David's enemy at this point. The red Surging Strike attacks once more. This is now the 4th one that has been played in this game. this time starting the chain with it, getting rid of his Sigil of Lightning, drawing up a card. This being 5 damage could just spell defeat for David. I mean, if he only has a single 3-block in hand, the game is over and done with, but does manage to commit 2 defending attacks. Really, really nice if he has a somersault here, but looks like the chain has been closed, and we are now moving on to the second attack. Whelming Gust Wave, Callum, as you said, they always have it, and this one's been sitting in Arsenal for a number of turns.
We do have a 2-block here, though. No breaking scales on offer.
Oh,
Are we running out of blocking cards in the Oscilio hand?
we actually are. Is it a defense reaction? No, it's not. It's a null shock in the Arsenal. And David Gomez ticks down finally towards the end. A stalwart hold throughout most of this game, blocking where most Oscilios couldn't. And Dylan is going to be able to take this one with a 12 HP lead. But damn, that got a little bit spicy there towards the end. I mean, we saw Dylan not really be able to do much more than just send a single attack for 4. Of course, we saw that underwhelming Gust Wave for 5, which I suppose makes it a little bit more whelming when it's off the back of an Ancestral Harmony. But all things considered, not the best that we've seen Katsu. We saw some really nice turns at the beginning. And of course, that Lord of Wind Megenshi release turn was kind of nuts, shuffling back in those Surging Strikes. But I don't know, it felt like after that shuffle, it kind of whimpered, and the damage was already done, though. Oscilio just couldn't pick up any more steam. It was just all instants at that point.
Yeah, I mean, man, I was really rooting for David towards the end there to try and get that, maybe really take advantage of these couple of clunky Katsu hands to show us what Oscilio is really capable of. But, you know, against these decks that you need to block, Oscilio doesn't always get the time to find the right pieces. So,
No.
But potentially the expected result from this matchup, you know, depending on how explosive Oscilio can be. But, yeah, great game, really fun game to watch. That big Lord of Wind turn was something, huh?
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Rare that you see him against you release connect. And I suppose Oscilio effectively can be like a bit of a punching bag sometimes, and you can get all those combos out, and your left fist hits and your right fist hits and your fluttering fist hits, and it just keeps going crazy. So yeah, really nice to see some of those big combo lines from the OG Ninja himself. But guys, that is going to be it for this game between Dylan and David. Dylan goes 1-0 in our first round of the League That Means Nothing. Is he going to be able to continue the momentum coming into round number 2? Time will tell. But for now, I've been Kyle. This has been Callum. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you next time. Peace.